What's up, everybody? Back again, episode. Oh, fuck crap. Love of the bang. So first things first, I'm having a Michael Jordan flu game today. Was sick last night. Didn't call off work. Get those fuckers sick. So they say don't come if you're sick, bro. That is a test. They want you not to come so they could use that against you and call you a bitch behind your back. I went. I got my shit done.
It's
alpha.
It's notorious at the department is like, don't call off when you're sick. You work when you're sick, but you use your sick days for personal days.
Rather just
why would I call off when I'm sick? I'm just not going to do anything. I'll just sit in the parking lot.
Shout out to the troops.
Yeah.
Shout out our first responders.
Dude,
Yeah. I was gonna give a shout out to my fellows. Really helped me get through the day. My boy Nick Tiraney and KB No Swag. I met Nick in at Missouri, and
Did they reach out?
No, I was so this is, you got to think, at the time, all I was doing was cutting weight and working out. So all I would do was watch like podcasts to like put off eating, and I'd watch the Yak and Anus. There's the Anus. This is the wrestler. He's like roomed with Carr's brother.
Yeah.
So I watched it. I was like, oh, I haven't watched him in a while. Turn it on, dude. Me and that dude have these. I don't know what form of autism it is. But I just know we have the same exact one, bro. KB No Swag, Kyle Bauer. He literally, dude, in his podcast, I swear to God, this is what he talked about. Youth wrestling, crazy parents in youth wrestling in Pennsylvania, fucking flavors. No lie. He was ranting on flavors.
Flavor kick. Dude.
No way he's listening to the Quest pod, but
did we talk about flavors last week? And the hate
probably
for flavors?
Every week. I hate flavors. I still hate flavors. Make it a real flavor.
Make it.
So, ice cream is not a flavor. That's a thing.
Green sour apple. Weird flavors. Make it apple.
So yeah, sour apple. I mean, that's different.
Granny
Yeah.
Smith's a Granny
I've
Smith.
had an apple.
That's a Granny Smith, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of bad on my part.
Yeah. And it's green, too.
Yeah.
You're out of takes.
All right, that sucked. I'm done.
But, yeah, shout out to them. They really helped me out today. I was cranking that out when I was working.
Cranking one out at work.
I was cranking one out at work. You had a long weekend. You finally got you out.
Yeah.
So you finished.
It was miserable, dude.
Talk to him. How was your first week out? Out on the town.
First weekend back out was nice and fun. I had to work too, though, so it was back-to-back nights of 4 hours of sleep, and then ran the 12-hour days, which sucked, but it was fun, dude. Greek Fest. We had a good time at Greek Fest.
We did. We were up till pretty late, and then you had to wake up at 4:30 to fight crime.
Yeah.
And not all heroes wear capes, brother.
Yes, my Sunday is pretty chill though, dude. The town was chill. We had all you can eat pancakes at the firehouse.
I thought you guys were beefing. You don't beef.
We don't beef with the firehouse, dude. All is good in the world. And then we grilled for
wait till the hockey game.
Wait till the softball. We're playing softball. Well, we're on their team for softball. Did I tell you about
Who do you guys play?
The teachers for the school district.
That's the real deal.
We're gonna dick them.
Dude. Do they have? Do you taunt them at all? Are you like,
"What's up, nerds?"
You just round the bases. You're like, "Hey, why don't you keep the women out of the? Why don't you keep the men out of the women's bathroom?"
But
they're like, "Bigot." Why don't you freaking stop pulling over
a cab?
A cab.
But then today we had a pretty fucking. Me and Jimmy did had a little day, dude.
That's fun.
My little brother. We got a good lift in this morning. Went right to cryo. He tried cryo out. He was freezing.
It's pretty cold.
It's cold. It's pretty cold. I was like, hockey players can get used to it, but
dude, I remember.
Then we got our brows done.
Ooh, dude, they look great.
Dude,
speaking of cryo, the one time I did cryo, I went I tore my knee my senior year of high school. My coach, shout out coach, great guy, but would like get very nervous about everything, and my knee was just fucked the whole year. Like that shit was not getting fixed. And he was like, they got this cryotherapy, maybe it'll fix it. I was like, all right. I had like torn ligaments in there.
yeah, a little bit of
And I remember I did the cryo, and it was good. Like it was good for like muscle
good for
recovery.
soreness,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And right when I got out, he's like, "How's it feel? Does it feel any better?" I was like, "Yeah,
yeah, way better.
I was like, "Get it on a high seat. Come and crack me down real quick."
That's like well, one for the cryo. If you want to try it, it's first time's free at that place. I got post dropping tomorrow. She'll have all the information. Then there's a fat discount after that. So if anybody wants to try it out, it woke me, dude. It helps my energy levels too. I feel like way more awake throughout the day. But no, dude, I did this thing with a chiropractor. No, it wasn't a chiropractor. It was this guy that used to fight at MTC. He was like working at some weird like therapy place, and they had this sound wave thing. And like my coach sent me there for like a free treatment. It's like sound wave around your, and they did it for my shoulder. Like, how's it feel like? So like they had me moving around before, and then like, how about after? It was like the same. I was like, oh, it feels so much better. I was like, this feels great. And I went out and like, all right, so let's talk payment like for like a subsequent follow up. So I was like, yeah, for sure. And I just ghosted them. I was like, I got paid. That's witchcraft, dude. That's stupid.
The witch doctor, fuck. You see, I was gonna ask when you said the chiropractor. You see, I
got cracked up today too. I went to the chiro.
Sometimes I see freaking they be cracking from the butthole. Do you see that?
I don't, but I just cracked my ear. If you guys didn't hear that.
You cracked your ear?
Yeah, you ever see those?
Yeah.
Forgot.
All right, cool. All right, so oh my God, dude, my mom just sneezed.
Was that a sneeze or was that a woo?
See, that's what.
Mom,
if you sneeze one more time, Mom, I'm fucking moving out. I'm serious. That's too much. So, big guest on today. We got Austin O'Connor coming on in a little bit. For those who don't know, we'll have him introduce himself, but very good guy, crazy guy. Won a lot of stuff. He doesn't lose that much.
Not too often, no.
Fucking piece of shit, that guy. I've fucking lost so many times.
Lost more than you could fucking imagine,
dude. I think about too, like how many tournaments have you ended just in a random hallway, just really like I'm like you really think about you really find yourself in the corner of the hallway at Hinsdale Central sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
He's never really had to do that. Maybe like
I never had to at Hinsdale Central. I fucking own that school, dude.
One time I didn't have to do that at Hinsdale Central, but
speaking of losing and losing a lot, how's your fantasy looking this week?
Oh, dude, freaking the worst way to lose too. I'd freaking that fucking honestly, if that's illegal in fucking D2, I hope he gets fucking Iowa. I hope Iowa that motherfucker, that piece of shit, beat me by half a point. Oh my God, bro. If Jahmyr Gibbs doesn't go into overtime, I win. He runs his mouth. Whatever. It's week 1.
All right, we're gonna hit our segment where Jake is gonna use all of his autism here, and we're gonna pick a random year for the NCAA tournament, random weight class, and he's gonna rattle through all of the All-Americans. You ready?
All right, guys. This doesn't help you on the ACT score, but let's see. I'll show you what I can do.
All right, we're going 2019.
Good year.
184.
Senior year of high school.
184.
Okay, senior year of high school. 184. I want to say first place. I gotta think where. Okay. I'm just trying to get the year right. All right, I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. Was first place Drew Foster that year?
Yeah.
Drew Foster. Second place, Max Dean.
Yeah.
Third place, Miles Martin. Fourth place.
This one's gonna be tough.
Zach Savatsky.
He's
I don't want to hear it.
Not fourth place.
Okay.
Fourth place.
Fourth place.
Fourth place. Flint Mega Bowl.
Ryan Price.
Yeah, how the fuck?
Lehigh. All right, fifth place. Emory Parker.
There we
go.
Sixth
Saw him
place.
this weekend.
Sixth place. Cool name.
Zach Savatsky.
No.
All right. Fuck.
This is a cool
name.
Fuck
that guy, bro. Why is he getting me?
This is a really cool name.
Okay, that's cool. Fifth place. Fifth place.
Flint Mega Bowl.
Flint, Michigan Mega Bowl. Flint, Michigan Mega Bowl. I feel because I have to watch it to know. I feel like I didn't watch this, but I can go. Is he in the Big Ten?
No.
All right, all right. Let's go with.
Our guest went to the same school as him.
Wow, Chip Ness.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
All right, that I knew that. Fuck, Chip Ness. Then, seventh place. Is it the guy I've been saying? He's in eighth place. Good thing I didn't say his fucking name again. He's deserved to get brought up 3 times. Seventh. This is gonna be tough. This guy. This guy went to a big school or. I want to say.
Probably the biggest school
Okay.
outside of the Big Ten for
Oh,
wrestling.
outside the Big Ten. Does it start with a D?
His
First
first
name?
name does, yeah.
Dakota Gear?
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
Zach's
I'm
offense.
gonna
All right,
I'm
that
gonna
wasn't
do-
bad.
We're gonna do
We'll be back
57
next week.
We're gonna do
You're
57.
the only one that all these guys did all this work, and I'm the weird one for knowing who the top 8 guys in the country were. My bad. My bad. Sorry, I'm the only one. No one cares anymore. All right. So here we go. We'll put some of that in. We got Austin O'Connor coming on. Let's get him on. All right. So we're here with we got 2-time national champ, undefeated 1-0 MMA fighter. You want to help me with your youth state? Let's go through the youth ones. How many time bantam state champ?
I think 2 or 3-time Bantam state champ, 2-time midget state champ, 5-time IKWF state champ, and 4-time IKWF.
With a cock.
Since you are you the only one to sweep all of those, or?
I don't know. I know I'm the only one to win 5 IK and then 4 IHSA. I think the other 5-time state champs were like Tony Davis, Izzy Martinez, I think Isaiah White, me, and like maybe 2 other people. But I think all of those guys lost at IHSA except Izzy, who didn't compete his senior year. So he would have been the first one, but
Would you trade just one of them to give me and Johnny one, or do you like that you have 9 too much?
oh yeah, I'd definitely give you a Bantam state one.
No, it's got to be one of the IK or
I
IHSA.
have an idea.
Would you give me?
I'll take
Would you
an
be a?
IHSA. I'll take an IHSA.
Would you be a 3-time IHSA state champ if it meant me and Johnny could get a state title?
No, then I would have got held back. I would have got held back, had to do an extra year of
That
school.
was a test. Good move, dude.
And
I didn't want one.
Yeah, I want it that way,
Dude, they told me it doesn't matter anyways, and that there's much more to life than winning a state title. So like, it doesn't even matter. I've been over it for days. All right. So you fought what month was your fight again? July?
Yeah, I think July.
So
Yeah.
now are you full back into coaching mode, or what's your plan with your next one?
I mean, I'm still trying to juggle both.
So if you got a date like in the preseason, is that a chance, or are you probably most likely gonna take another year to get back in the cage?
No, I'm talking with DC right now, trying to figure out a date. The tough part for me right now is we don't have a like solidified schedule for the season this year.
Mhm.
We're trying to figure out the schedule. Once we have all of our dates, we'll see what our off weeks are and what dates match up with Fury FC. And then if we have a week off, then I'll try to take a fight during then. The only date that I knew we were off for sure was finals week in December. And we have a tournament December 7th, and Fury's fight date is December 8th, so it wouldn't have worked out. And then right after like that, we would have been open. But yeah.
Is this folklore, or is this I was hearing that you were thinking about maybe going 135.
I think maybe when I make it to the UFC and I have like a dietitian and like fighting is my main focus, maybe I can make 35. Because for my fight, it was way easier than I thought it was going to be. In college, I struggled making 49. 57 wasn't too bad, but I think having a 24-hour weigh-in is a lot better for me. So most fighters use sauna suits, they go in the sauna, do hotbeds, and I didn't have to do any of that for my fight. So just kept it easy, just went for a run, just try to keep it as close as I could to cutting weight, trying to be prepared for like a 2-hour weigh-in in wrestling. And I knew I was going to feel good if I could cut the weight that way rather than trying to sauna, drain myself and everything. And I made it no problem. So maybe I got another 10 pounds in me. We'll see it in the future.
I mean, I like how you say it made it no problem because I remember being with you like 5, 6 days out and seeing you touch like 20 pounds over. And I was like, you're like, dude, it's no big deal. I was like, all right. I remember turning to Tony being like, fuck, like 20 pounds over. I'm like, dude, you got this, bro. This is easy.
I think it's the same thing for me because like 57 was brutal for me in college, and then like no, I think it's just like since you only have to make it once every like whatever you get 2 month training camp for it, it's like I don't feel like because when I used to make it in college, I'd fucking pig out right after and like shoot back up, but like it's easier to kind of like slowly decline, you know?
Yeah.
It definitely
I
makes
think
life
mentally too, knowing that you have that like big break after your weigh-ins
yeah.
feels nice too. It's like,
Or
I just gotta beat the scale today, worry about the fight tomorrow.
yeah, 100%.
For comparing it to wrestling, so just that one fight, like just like feeling afterwards, how would you compare it to winning like wrestling tournaments? Like, did you get a nice little adrenaline dump from that?
So I wouldn't say it was as big as my NCAA tournament in the finals, but I mean anything besides that, it was probably just as big. Having a bunch of my crowd there cheering me on, friends, family, and everything, and then you being the center of attention, you're the main focus, you're the only fight going on. Um, Not too many wrestling matches compare to that because a lot of the times when you're at a tournament or something, you have multiple match going on. You're never like really the center of attention. Whereas in fighting, you're the center of attention and your adrenaline's a lot higher because trying to knock the kid's head off. So
Yeah.
yeah, the adrenaline was definitely there and everything, but I'd say my top wrestling matches were probably a little bit higher right now, but in the future when I'm fighting for a belt or I'm fighting for to get in the UFC and stuff like that, it might be a little bit different for me.
You think hold on, I'm gonna move myself back here because I'm getting tired of looking at myself so close. How do you feel with the lack of hair now? What do you feel about the new haircut?
Dude, honestly, today I was just thinking about growing it back out.
You've got cornrows for your fight?
Maybe. I don't know what I want to do. I think I'm gonna kind of keep it like a mid-level length. Um, and then maybe if I have like a fight in a few months, I'll grow it out and try to get cornrows. I don't know if I'll in a month or two if that will happen, but I might go for it, see if I can do it. But our barber just left town, so we had a team barber that Connell hooked me up with, and he just moved to Arkansas, so I don't really got anybody to cut my hair in town, and kind of missing the long hair, so I might try it out again. We'll see.
Where was the barber at?
What was it called? Like Design Cuts. It was right on Green Street.
I was gonna ask too. So speaking of like adrenaline and nerves, so being one of the only people ever to never lose in a sport for your whole career, do you think when you're competing, what do you think mentally makes you such a good competitor? Are you angry? Is someone making you upset all the time or
But I just feel like everything I do, wrestling, MMA, you just have to like keep everything consistent. So when I was getting ready for my fight, I prepared for it the same way I would train for like a wrestling match. Like I even did stuff like stance and motion, jump rope, just like the basics of like what you need to get warm, kind of focus your mind and like the way you need to. Um, from the time I was little, I was always in like pretty high pressure matches. Like at the time it was like high, like you're in a Bantam State finals, like that's like your goal to win it, like that's your peak, I guess, or like at the time, so there was pressure in those matches, and I've always had that pressure growing up and being in those high level matches, and I've always performed well. So Just kind of getting accustomed to that pressure, being used to it, and just kind of like not succumbing to it, just being able to prepare to perform under the lights was big for me. So
Yeah. Definitely, it's crazy too to think is like we understand, but for like an outsider, especially someone that's like maybe only an MMA fan or not maybe just from a different state, but it's kind of silly to think back at like how intense youth wrestling matches are. Like it's literally like when you're like 11 or 10 years old, if you told someone like no, like it was like legit, it really was. There was like Jumbotron videos and grand marches and spotlights and
Aaron
so,
screaming.
dude, parents were fucking nuts, dude. I remember what was it? Did you have a specific anything you could remember of like parents? I remember I was warming up for a tournament and I think it was in like maybe it was the Grappler, and these I was literally just warming up, and two parents just started full on throwing hands like right next to me. I was like had headphones in too. I was like, oh,
My dad got in multiple fights when I was growing up wrestling.
Yeah.
Ugh.
There's crazy stories like that all the time. I mean, there would be cops showing up to tournaments, pulling parents out for yelling at kids and just crazy stuff. So
Are you gonna be putting kid into wrestling and being tough on him or?
I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. I mean, I'll probably definitely put my kid in wrestling, have him try it out and everything. I think they have the best chance of succeeding, obviously, because I've done it my whole life. I could help them in this sport more than any other sport, but I don't want to be too tough on them. I think the one thing that kind of made me jump levels in wrestling is when I wanted to like start wrestling for myself. Like when I was younger, my dad always pushed me and like I always wanted to be good for like kind of just show everybody I was good. And like my dad wanted me to be good and everything. But once I started getting to high school and college, and I just like really started wanting to be good for myself and train for myself, I feel like that's kind of what set me apart and like made me jump levels. So I feel like if I could get my kid to want to do that at a younger age and just like enjoy going to practice and enjoy wrestling while giving him that instruction and like leading him in the right direction, I think that would be a lot more beneficial. But I think to some degree, you still have to be tough on your kids. Like, if they're gonna do it, they're gonna put the time in and they're gonna like go for it. Not just gonna let them join and kind of half-ass it.
Yeah, definitely. I used to all my friends that were good, they all their dads beat the crap out of them. And my dad never wrestled. My dad only played baseball, so
Yeah,
when I played baseball when I was younger, if I struck out or struck out looking, he'd be like, "What are you looking at?" I'm like, "Fuck that shit." And then,
Yeah.
but in wrestling, he didn't say anything. I remember being like, "Dad, like you have to be harder on me, or I'm not going to be good." All my friends' dads would be like, they'd lose, and I'd see them get like destroyed. And I come home, and when I like really started doing it for myself, I was probably like 13 or 14. I was like, I want to be good, and I'd be like, "Dad, you got to be harder on me." And he was like, "Not really." He's like, "No." I'm like, "Come on." He's like, "All right." I remember I'd be like trying to make weight or something, and then he'd hear me like rummaging through the pantry like late at night. He's like, "Hey, don't eat that." I'd be like, "Dad, are you fucking kidding me?" Like, he'd be like, "She said to be hard on you." I'm like, "Dad, you're gonna break that easy." I'm like, "That was it." He's like, but there's no Steve
No.
or Mike.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of fucking the old days, I think we did our first jujitsu stuff together when we were like in like third or fourth grade.
Did
You
we?
remember that? I don't
Was it-
remember the word. I just remember like vaguely. It's like me, you, and somebody else that used to wrestle with you at Tinley.
Uh-huh. Oh, Houston?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
used to go do it all the fucking time.
When did you and Johnny meet each other? Do you guys remember?
Oh,
Very young.
young. Yeah, I was young.
Dual
like-
teams or?
Probably, right?
I don't even remember. I feel like
I assume it's just from being around.
I heard you guys scrapped on a dual team. Is that true?
That
You
was
guys-
no, it wasn't a team.
yeah.
Or
Someone set the context here. Someone give us the.
was it like one of the Cliff Keen things?
Oh, is that Reno?
That's Reno. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scrapped him. My dad screamed at both of us because he brought us both out there. He like threw a water bottle at my head.
give us the rundown.
Dude, no, I think it was Duncan, and you thought it was me. And then I like walked away as it happened, and then you like came over and we started scrapping and put a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
And then Mr.
We got-
Jackie had like had
He
a
said we
pay.
got to work for him all summer and stuff. I was like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, he's like, you guys gotta work for me. But then the hotel ended up like paying for like the whole like wall damage because he spent so much money in the casino that they're just like, don't even worry about it.
Dude,
What
that's
what was
very young, dude.
how old are you guys?
That was like
We
kind
were
of
like, 10 or something.
yeah. I think
Yeah,
it was
You
just
guys
like
put a
elementary.
hole in the wall? What were you guys
Yeah.
going at it about?
Dude, I think it was horse playing gone wrong, dude.
Dude, so it was like me, AJ Jaffe, Dylan Duncan, Johnny, and maybe a few other kids. And we're
There's a
all
bunch
just
of
jumping on
SCM.
each other, like wrestling. It was just like a group of us wrestling. And um, from what I remember, I think Duncan pushed AJ or something, and AJ like headbutted Johnny, and Johnny thought I pushed AJ or something, and they
I
headbutted.
remember this, dude.
Yeah, and then I
I
like
remember,
walked away.
yeah, I remember us going into the wall and shit. I just don't remember fucking what kicked it off. I've been punched in the head a
Yeah.
little too much and stuff. Dude, that was like I remember afterwards just him fucking. It was just me and you sitting there on the bed, just getting screamed at. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
this sucks. And we had to go wrestle after that.
By like everybody. It was like
Yeah.
Dad, Mr. Jaffe came and talked to us, like all the coaches that were like there coaching us. Like
I'll blame my second place on everybody screaming at me.
Did you
Reno
win
was
that tournament, Austin? Did you win that tournament?
I don't even remember.
What all right, unrelated. What would you say in your wrestling career was your favorite match or favorite win?
I mean, probably like NCAA is pretty cool.
Which one?
Yeah, which one's bigger for you?
Um, Probably the first one. I know Sasso was like a real scrappy wrestler. I would have liked to wrestle him earlier in the season, and kind of get like a feel for him because I think me being aggressive and like having like pretty like good finishes and everything, I think I could have maybe taken him down like a little bit more. But with like a high stake match like the NCAA finals, had to be like a little bit more conservative. Didn't want him pulling me in scrambles and stuff. So there wasn't too many shots. Um, Levi Haynes. I don't really watch too much match film, but I seen him wrestle like a few times just going through the tournament and stuff. And the one move he liked to do was like the post high C or whatever. And I don't really reach with my right hand. So just me not reaching with that hand took away like the majority of his offense. And then plus it was my second time being there, a little less pressure for me. I know being the older guy added a little bit, but I don't know. I felt like I was in a good spot. So
Did
You oh, go ahead.
Did the second one kind of was a little bit sweeter just because you came back from like that injury and like the surgery and stuff?
yeah, that meant a lot to me too. So I'd still say probably the first one was like the better one just because like finally got it done. Like you could always call yourself a national champ after it. Like but
Huge for the Illinois guys. I remember being super pumped. I didn't even know
Yeah.
you now. It was big for
We're in
the state.
Iowa, right?
Yeah.
We're in Iowa like watching it. Just
Yeah.
hammered.
This is us next year.
Yeah, but then the next year I thought I could win it again at 57 and the knee injury kind of held me back a little bit. It was really frustrating just knowing I couldn't wrestle to my full capability and I still did what I did on the injury. And after that, I just knew coming back next year I was going to win it. Like I was going to do everything right. I trained my ass off in the summer, like didn't let anything like affect my knee, like rehabbed it twice a day. Did everything I could to prepare for next season. And usually I kind of like a little break in the summer, kind of like clear my head, not think about wrestling. Still kind of like doing workouts, but not take it like super seriously. And that was like the first summer I was just like head down, like the whole summer training like as hard as I could. And as soon as season started, I was like feeling healthy. I was like, there's no way I'm losing this tournament this year. Like I'm gonna win it. So
I could imagine just when you finally won it, was it almost like not getting it was kind of like a drug almost, like just like chasing a high? Did you feel like, or did you just like some people are like, oh, I just really like wrestling, I want to win, obviously, but like I would imagine like winning the national tournament's got to feel like, because you put in so much suffering, especially with wrestling. Like it's such a slow burn that like it's got to feel so good when you win. Like, did
Yes,
you
I mean
feel
it's
that?
like it was probably like the best feeling ever. I mean, like you just win the national title in front of a huge crowd like that. Train your whole life to win the national tournament. Folk styles, a USA thing, like that's what we prepare for our whole lives. That's what all my state titles were growing up trying to get me recruited for college and get to that level and be able to win that tournament. So to finally do it, like you don't even realize uh like can't think of a good word to describe it, but like pretty much like how cool it is to win a national title until you do it. Like everybody wants to do it, but like you don't understand like the feeling until you do it. And
Mhm.
once I had that feeling of winning it and being a national champ, I was like, I'll do anything like I need to do to get that feeling back. Like, and like training sucks. Like you go into the room, there's days you don't want to train, like you're getting beat up all the time. But like to get that feeling back, it's like worth it. Like you want to train harder almost after you win it the first time because you finally had that feeling of like the satisfaction of all your hard work paying off. And then to do it again, like you almost want to do anything to get that feeling back.
Yeah, going talking about like your training, just for people that have never got to see Austin train, and I've seen you train for your fight, and also just I wasn't even at North Carolina. I can only imagine when you were actually training when for you competing, but I was always more like, all right, I need to run at this time, and then I'm gonna go work out again and again. And you were like, no, like I'll do my one workout if that's the only workout of the day. But I've never seen someone be able to like push themselves that hard. Like if it was only a 30-minute workout, like you would push yourself so fucking. I remember the first like week we wrestled, we would just spar, but you were just able to go so long. I remember calling my dad and be like, dude, it's like trying to like pace yourself and like run with like an Olympian like Jamaican. Like I felt like I was going 100%, and this guy's just like trotting 40%. Dude, I pulled my lower abs because he kept taking me down, and then he would just like that was so tired. He'd like get like go like 40%, just like kind of pinch and like wait for me to escape. And I built up so many times, dude. I like pulled my lower abs. We're building up. I was like, dude, I don't understand how you go that hard. But yeah, it was fucking impressive. What do you think? You think that's mainly mental, or you think just over and over for years, like getting those reps? Like, why do you think most people would stop, whereas you, like, especially when you're training for the national titles, you'd fucking say you'd go with one guy, and then you'd go to a point where that guy can't go anymore, and you'd have to go with like what, three partners of practice, or
I just felt like kind of just like what you said about having like the one workout. Um, I know some guys like doing like multiple workouts a day and like that works for them. But for me and like keeping like trying to work on like my mentality of like grinding and wrestling hard, I feel like you get the most out of it. Doing it like one time a day, just going as hard as you can for as long as you can. Um, I mean, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's even like Olympic runners that like when they run, they just like don't even set a time. They just like run as long and hard as they can. Um, and like I just feel like you get the most out of it that way than beating up your body doing 20 different workouts a day because I mean everybody knows recovery is huge for you. So um if you're not in the workout room, like you're recovering, kind of letting your body like get to where it needs to be. So by the time you get back into the workout room, you go 100%. And when you're outside of the room, you're kind of getting ready for that. But then, like, you know, when the time comes, it's 2 hours a day, an hour and a half a day where you have to focus and like just put your head down and work. And I feel like people like don't build like their mentality of working hard sometimes just because they say like I'm not feeling great right now, I could just do it later. And then later they might do another sloppy second workout and they still feel like they got something in and it's probably beneficial to some like point, but like if you could work on your mentality and your conditioning and everything you need to in one practice a day and like I just feel like that's more beneficial.
you touched on it like when you were talking about trying to get the next feel the second national title, but you had that little 1 year. And I
Mhm.
always do like, oh, you had a hurt knee, but like I said, we didn't go to the same school as you, so I was like, oh yeah, he had a hurt knee, and then he lost, but like still took eighth, whatever. So I didn't really think much of it. But then when you came to Illinois and we talked about it, I tell people like, dude, that's the fucking craziest thing I've ever seen with the fucking. If you guys want something to do, go on fucking YouTube and look up Austin's backside. How many matches did you have to win to place?
I think 6.
It was fucking, dude. They're on YouTube, and so you could probably elaborate on it more than I can. But just from my knowledge, he couldn't. His ACL and a bunch of other shit was torn. Couldn't shoot, couldn't sprawl, and like everyone, dude, the people in wrestling, like no one ever loses. We're sick, something's torn, or whatever. So it kind of like downplays like what you have to do because I'm just so used to hearing that. Dude, his knee was really sick. He showed me the pictures, man. It was like the same size as his thigh. And like you watch these matches and he just bull rushes right into an over under. And then you could see the moment in every match is like, oh fuck, I gotta like suck it up and get a takedown here to win. And then you just kept doing it. But
Yeah, I feel like personally, since I had like a knee injury, you could like I can now tell if like people's knees are actually injured because like when it happened to me and like my knee was torn, like I couldn't shoot. Like there was no way it was possible for me to like bend my knee forward and take a penetration step. So like I had to change my whole wrestling style. I had to do all mid-level attacks. So I'd usually start trying to get into an under over. I try to get to a head, get to like a front headlock. But like all of my shots, I would like level change and just try to blast through them, catch like behind their knees and try to like trip them up. I mean, I don't want to say anyone's lying, but I feel like some guys that say they have knee injuries, they're still shooting, they're still doing everything possible. And like, I just don't feel like a lot of people are like, you wouldn't be physically capable of that unless your knee's like not fully torn. Like maybe it's torn to an extent, but not fully torn. And I don't know, it was tough to do, but at the ACC finals, I toured some more, and the ACC tournament's not the national tournament. You're training for nationals, but for me and my wrestling, I thought it was most beneficial to not try to protect my seat at nationals, but to wrestle in the finals so you could figure out how to learn how to wrestle on a torn knee because I wasn't going to heal by the time nationals started. So I didn't end up winning my ACC finals match. I ended up losing by like a point, but it kind of prepared me, got my head a little bit more ready to compete at the national tournament and be able to like adjust and work on what I needed to do.
All right, going off of that and like big matches and stuff, what would your dream fight be? Like coming up in the UFC, like any guys that you know that are currently up and coming or they're there at one of the weight classes.
I don't know, stylistically right now, if I could make the weight, I'd say O'Malley. I feel like the or he's only really fought Aljo, so he hasn't had any other wrestlers, right?
Yeah, I guess we'll see how he does. He's got what do you call it coming up? Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But I feel like nobody's really tried to wrestle him. I don't think his wrestling's bad, but I feel like he's known for his striking, and my wrestling's at like a whole nother level. And I feel like these other guys like haven't wrestled him as much as they should have. So if I can make 35 and catch him later in his career, maybe that would be like a nice intro fight to start building my name. But
it'd be beyond a nice intro fight.
That'd be pretty
insane. We'll clip this when you beat him. We'll rewind it.
I think 35 and 40 or even 45 for like neither they're both like they're not like wrestle heavy, you know. So like you could make a fucking huge impact just with, like wrestling in those divisions, you know.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of a lot of good matchups at both those weights, and they're kind of young, you know. So
yeah. I would have said Paddy Pimblett because but I think he's been stepping it up a lot lately and looking good. So I don't know. We'll see where I'm at and who's there at the time, but I just want to take my career slow, get a few fights in, get myself prepared, and when I get there, I'll figure it out.
How old are you right now?
26 right now. Hopefully I'm in the UFC before I'm 30, but like I said, I don't really have a timeline. I'm just going to keep training, getting better, and just figure it out. So
I think you definitely will be. What is your like, just for people that want to follow along with you, what's like your biggest focuses right now? And you know, So I know you went out to California, trained with DC a little bit. Just what's like your training partners look like? Who's your crew a little bit, and what's your plan for the next year, short term?
So I'm still in the wrestling room every day, working out with the team and everything. I'm still a coach, so still pretty wrestling heavy. But then when I could train later in the day at my MMA gym, for the last year and a half, I focused almost strictly on like boxing, Muay Thai, like striking stuff. And I feel like I've definitely gotten better. Um, and I still want to keep getting better. I feel like it's still not there yet to keep up with some of like the UFC guys. If I didn't have my wrestling and it was just striking. But right now I just want to focus on jujitsu, start training that. Jujitsu is a huge aspect. I feel like it's the second biggest martial art right beside wrestling. Got to be able to control positions on top. I feel like that will lead to better striking for me on top if I could control the positions. But at the end of the day, I want to go for knockouts. I want to make a name for myself, and everybody wants to see a knockout. Everybody wants to see like damage and everything. People always say wrestling and jujitsu is like the most boring martial art. So I want to be an exciting fighter. So I'm focusing on my jujitsu to learn how to do this stuff, but I'm going to keep touching on my striking when I can, work on my fundamentals, and just keep growing as an MMA fighter. But I feel like a big thing, the same thing in wrestling. Um, I want to out condition people. So I'm going to keep my conditioning at a high level. Like I said, I'm still wrestling in the room every day with these guys. So I feel like almost at any moment, if I feel healthy, I could take a fight just because my conditioning and everything's like going to be way better than a lot of fighters just from being in a college D1 room training with these guys every day.
Yeah, definitely. What about so for wrestling too, you see yourself I know you retired, but you think you're ever gonna come back and wrestle again or
Dude, it was tough watching this last Olympics. I kind of stopped wrestling because they don't have 70 kg at the Olympics, and that's like the next level of what you want to do is after NCAAs, you want to go be an Olympic champ. And world champ would be cool too, but if I can't compete at the highest level of my sport, to me that just wasn't like um just wasn't worth it to me, I guess. Fighting, I could still win a belt and go do that. And I thought that would be a little bit cooler than being like a world champ. So after making way for my fight and feeling 46, I think there's potential for me to make 43 and a half, 65 kg. Um, so we'll see how I keep training and if I want to wrestle, but maybe get some Ireland citizenship and go compete for them instead. So
oh yeah. Who you think you can get me who's the Ireland 65 kilo guy right now that you gotta beat up?
I don't even know if they have a team. I think so.
Wicked.
So my mom's almost like full Italian, and my dad's like pretty much like full Irish. And during COVID, I was looking at get my Italian citizenship, um, and there were just like problems with getting it, and reaching out to like the organization during the time. But they had like better facilities. Frank Chamizo was there, so I would have had great partners and everything. And it would have been like a little bit more worth it for me to make 65, even though it would have been tough. And I would have had more of a chance of like making the team and going out and doing good. You see all of these USA wrestlers go compete for other countries because winning the challenge tournament, the world team trials, the Olympic team trials, it's almost as big as winning the Olympics now. You have 8 guys at every weight that are national champs and just hammers, and all of them have potential of being Olympic champs. And only a few do it every year, but they all have potential. Like we're as a country, we're getting to where the Olympic and world team trials are as hard as the Olympics and worlds. So just giving yourself like a little bit of a hand up and wrestling for under like Ireland, who I have heritage in and everything. I think that would help me out because again, making 65 and making their team is a little bit easier than making 65 and making our team. And I think I could do it, but even if I do it, you won't have like as long as a career like as if you do it for like Ireland. Like I can make the team the next 16 years probably if I wanted to. Whereas in America, you're always going to have those 8 guys, 10 guys at each weight
Mm.
class that are just hammers. So
These
Um,
young guys too, they're freaking. They get so good in every sport. They
Yeah.
keep getting better.
yeah, yeah. I feel like there's like a little less pressure for them, and they just come out and compete, and
Mhm.
yeah, and they're looking good.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got any shout outs you want to make? Anything the fans should be looking out for? Any promotions?
Shout out
Okay.
Apex House of Grappling. Shout out Lycans Done. Shout out DC, and yeah, but
You want to shout your OnlyFans link out?
Maybe you're wrestling.
maybe after a few more fights, I can make a little more money.
How's the team? The team's looking good. You're
Yeah, the team's looking great, and I actually appreciate a lot of the guys on our team coming up to Lycans Down and training with me a lot. I think it's good for them to kind of get like a little bit different, mix up their training a little bit. I feel like switching martial arts kind of helps with their wrestling, and even if it's not like translating great for them, but just having another workout during the day is like nice for them. Change of pace, change of mindset, and everything. So.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I think the team is hungry to win this year. I think we have a lot of the guys in the lineup back that we didn't have last year. I think what it was said a stat recently, like Penn State is the highest team with returning NCAA qualifiers with 11. We have 10 guys that are NCAA qualifiers coming back, so we're the number 2 team. And then Iowa had like 9. So we have like the highest returning qualifiers for the NCAA tournament in the country besides Penn State. Iowa, I think, is without the 2 transfers if they get them, Teamer and the other one that they're getting. But I mean, we're right there with every other team in the country that plays at nationals. So I think you could expect a lot from us. I think our team's hungry to do good this year. Had a pretty rough season last year, so everybody on the team's looking forward to it and training as hard as they can. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Now that you don't got that racing kid on the team, you guys got rid of that dead weight. No, this is the year. All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
That
thanks
was
for
that was good. We'll have to
thanks
do
for
it
having me.
again.
Yeah, I gotta come down and train soon now that I don't have anything
Maybe,
until November.
I was gonna
so
maybe come
I'll do a road
this
trip.
weekend. If you want to come with.
Dude, this is a huge weekend for us. We have a lot of big recruits in town.
Oh shit! So you're gonna be busy all weekend. Maybe I'll put it off.
All right, sounds good.
All right, peace, bro.